And welcome back to the IPF World Championships. And you'll notice two New Zealand lifters, of course, the returning champion, Evie Corrigan, herself a Sheffield champion, Megan Lee Smith, and that is one hell of a 1-2 punch from New Zealand. Evie Corrigan, 162.5, the returning world champion, rattled the 52 kilo class at the first Sheffield, claimed a couple world titles since then.
Last couple of years not having to take her third deadlift, which I said maybe today she might have to. It'll be interesting to see, but she has been dominating this class for the last few years. Yeah, a little trickier than we're used to seeing Evie's opener, but she can certainly grind through squats. We know that.
And Megan Lee Smith, if anybody's a threat to Evie Corrigan, it's this young lady, 167.5.
Megan's best is 171.
That's pretty convincing.
Yeah, it's a nice opener and a good lift to be white light. And a sigh of relief after that first squat is out of the way.
Evie Corrigan, 167.5. Evie has gone as high as 172.5. And these are not very tidy squats coming from Evie today. Where is Megan Lee Smith going to end up? Where is Evie going to end up? Will it come down to the last pull? We're not used to seeing that from Evie. Megan Lee Smith, 172.5. A reminder, the world record is 175.5. We're getting close.
Yeah, and unless this is monumentally difficult, I can't imagine she won't look for that chip on her third.
Oh, it's work though, Amelia. What are your thoughts on this?
It is work, and it might be safer to go for that 175, just under the record.
Evie Corrigan, 170 kilos. Evie's top end is 172.5. We're very close. We're really going to know if she's at her top end today or not, depending how this moves.
She jumped 2.5 kilos, so like you said, feeling like she's at her top end. The extra couple of kilos will certainly help, but she doesn't lose out on too much should she not get this.
Okay, so she not only did not load her top end, she loaded a little less and missed.
If Megan gets her next squat, she'll have a chip on Evie, and that could be dangerous for the reigning world champion.
176.5. The crowd is chanting behind her. This is obviously a world record.
This is pivotal for Megan Lee Smith. If she gets it, she will be 1 kilo on prognosis behind Evie Corrigan.
This could turn into a battle. She needs this.
That is such a shame for Megan there. So close, really showing how much pressure she's putting on Evie. Some tight fights here again in bench press. You can see Megan Lee Smith and Evie Corrigan, both from New Zealand, both with the same opening attempt.
102.5 for Evie Corrigan. Nice opening bench for Evie. She's hit 107.5.
Yeah, not so far away from that with her opener.
And Megan Lee Smith, 102.5.
Yeah, opening on what we know of as being her best bench.
So bench has gone well, Megan.
Yeah, it looks extremely strong.
105 for Evie Corrigan. 2.5 kilo conservative jump. Top end is 107.5, so it makes sense.
On prognosis, only 5 kilos currently separating Megan and Evie.
Looks like a second attempt should.
That's a good lift. Yes, very consistent.
Megan Lee Smith up next with 105.
Just making sure everything's set up perfectly, especially if she's trying to pace with Evie and push her. And she's doing a good job with it, Ryan.
I'm thinking 2.5 kilos there. 2.5 kilos for Evie.
Yeah.
But it looked a little bit more effort than Evie had to. Evie Corrigan, 107.5. This will equal her personal best.
She needs every kilo she can. Megan Lee Smith is close behind. Not a world champion for no reason.
Yeah, when she needs it, she has it, and that's why she's Evie Corrigan.
And speaking of needing it,
Megan Lee Smith has done some fantastic work on her bench press. 102.5 was her previous personal best coming into this. 105 as a second moved very smoothly.
should she get this, herself and Evie will remain 5 kilos apart heading into deadlifts. A great fight from Megan.
And that's how improvement is made. You grab a lift that might be a liability, you work on it, and look how strong she is in the bench press.
Evie Corrigan and Megan Lee Smith, both of New Zealand, separated currently only by 5 kilos. Currently, with the opening deadlifts, will hit 95% of the current world record.
Megan Lee Smith, 182.5. Oh, wow.
Yeah, she is looking incredibly strong, and that is a threat. She is breathing down the neck of reigning world champion Evie Corrigan.
And speaking up, here is Evie Corrigan, 192.5.
Evie probably feeling the pressure more than she has done for a little while now. That was easy.
Convincing. And up next, Megan Lee Smith, 192.5. Now, if Megan hits this, Evie hits her second. They're just 2.5 kilos apart.
The gap is closing.
Yeah, this is a battle. It's literally going to come down to 2.5 kilos. That's a final pull.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, and the battle is on. 200 kilos for Evie Corrigan, and dare I say, Evie needs this.
Yeah, she absolutely does. Not only needs this, but probably the next one based on how Megan's moved.
How crazy is it? But here we are.
She will be able to see what Megan does for her third before deciding what she takes. That is the advantage. The bigger puller. There we go.
And we have never have to see Evie come out for a third in this kind of pressure in the 52 kilo class. 197.5 for Megan Lee Smith. This will put her total at 477.5, nudging ahead of Evie Corrigan, forcing Evie's hand. Megan Lee Smith is asking, how do you perform under pressure, Evie? Oh my goodness!
And she
Oh my goodness! It's happened! It's happened!
That is unbelievable. Megan Lee Smith pulls ahead.
And Evie Corrigan is forced now to hit her final pull for the first time ever. 205, and this is a must hit for Evie. It's all come down to this.
Will the crown remain on Evie's head, or will she pass it on to her teammate, Megan Lee Smith? It all lays on this final deadlift.
Oh, the finest writers in Hollywood couldn't have penned this one any better, could they? And it's all up to Evie to write the final chapter. As she rises to the occasion once again, Evie Corrigan in her finest hour.
And this one might just taste a little sweeter. Absolutely incredible. We said it was going to be close, and it was right until the final pull, and the first time in a long time Evie has had to pull that, and she really had to pull that.
Yeah, what a great battle the 52s delivered us today.
Evie, another win in the books. How are you feeling?
I'm really happy with the outcome. because I knew that it wasn't assured. Like, I knew coming in it was going to be a fight. Not happy with my performance though. Yeah.
Do you want to walk through your performance? So obviously your squats, how did they go for you?
Yeah, like hard from the get-go. So like even my last warm-up, I turned to my handlers and I was like, that felt kind of hard. And they were like, no, it's fine. But yeah, it felt hard and I was like, like, is this how the day's going to go? Like, is this going to be the tone for the rest of the day? I failed my third, which was 170, which I squatted like quite easily in my prep. So I was pretty frustrated about that because I was really hoping for 175 today. But, you know, I think we got all that we could. And then bench, I just really needed to like switch on and shake it off because I was in a bit of a dark place. I was like, maybe I'll just leave. Maybe I'll just not continue.
Is it that bad?
It was, yeah. And I think that my coach was a little bit alarmed because I'm not usually like that. Like, I'm pretty happy-go-lucky, and he was like, what do we do?
Yeah, what do we do?
But yeah, I managed to like shake it off and turn around, just listen to some like Britney Spears and like
Nice.
be like, yeah, get in the zone. Yeah, and then bench was better, still a little bit short of my expectations. I really wanted to bench 110, but ended up with 107, which again was the right number for today, but something that I benched last year at Worlds. So no PVs there. And then deadlifts I think probably moved the best of the three.
Wow.
And we've had a really good deadlift prep as well, so I was really glad to see them show up on the day, and obviously I needed them too. So yeah, pretty stoked for 205. Like, it felt pretty good. Again, like not a PB, but it was what we needed, and like as I said, the outcome is what's important.
With the win, do you have a plan on moving back up to the 57s? Is there a time scale that you've got for that in mind, or?
Yeah, I mean, like, usually we kind of just reevaluate every comp, like see how it goes, how was the cut, like how was the prep, obviously how was the performance, and then kind of make the call for the next comp. I am locked into 52s for World Games because we had to qualify at last year's Worlds. So I have to do that comp as a 52, but after that I'm like, I think I might be done. It's been a while. It's been tough. I would like to get stronger.